Hello everyone, in this video only the overviews and verses on Sirach 40 will be read to you. A separate video with commentaries and reflection questions with model answers will be released later. An overview of Sirach 40. The chapter is divided into three main parts: the evils of life, verses 1 to 17, the treasures of life, verses 18 to 27, and the shame of begging, verses 28 to 30. The evils of life. In the first part of the chapter, the author describes the many evils that afflict humanity. These include pain, suffering, poverty, and death. The author argues that these evils are a punishment for sin and that they are a reminder of the brevity of life. The author also describes the many ways in which people try to escape from these evils. They may try to find comfort in wealth, power, or pleasure. But the author argues that these things are not enough to truly satisfy us. They will not make us happy or fulfilled. The treasures of life. In the second part of the chapter, the author lists the many treasures that make life worth living. These include true married love, wisdom, and above all, the fear of God. The author argues that these treasures are the only things that can truly give meaning to life. True married love is a treasure because it brings us companionship, intimacy, and support. Wisdom is a treasure because it helps us to make good decisions and live a good life. And the fear of God is a treasure because it leads us to obey God's commandments and to live a life of virtue. The shame of begging. In the third part of the chapter, the author warns against the shame of begging. The author argues that begging is a degrading and shameful act and that it should be avoided at all costs. The author says that it is better to die than to beg for food. He also says that it is better to work hard for a living than to beg for money. The author's message in Sirach 40 is that life is full of both evils and treasures. The evils are a punishment for sin, but the treasures are the only things that can truly give meaning to life. We should avoid the evils and pursue the treasures, and we should never be ashamed to work hard for a living. Sirach 40 verses 1 to 17. The evils of life. 1. A great anxiety has God allotted, and a heavy yoke, to the children of Adam, from the day they leave their mother's womb until the day they return to the mother of all the living. 2. Troubled thoughts and fear of heart are theirs, an anxious foreboding until death. 3. Whether one sits on a lofty throne or grovels in dust and ashes. 4. Whether one wears a splendid crown or is clothed in the coarsest of garments. 5. There is wrath and envy, trouble and dread, terror of death, fury and strife. Even when one lies on his bed to rest, his cares disturb his sleep at night. 6. So short is his rest it seems like none, till in his dreams he struggles as he did by day, troubled by the visions of his mind, like a fugitive fleeing from the pursuer. 7. As he reaches safety, he wakes up, astonished that there was nothing to fear. 8. To all flesh, human being and beast, but for sinners 7 times more. 9. Come plague and bloodshed, fiery heat and drought, plunder and ruin, famine and death. 10. For the wicked evil was created, and because of them destruction hastens. 11. All that is of earth returns to earth, and what is from above returns above. 12. All that comes from bribes or injustice will be wiped out, but loyalty remain forever. 13. Wealth from injustice is like a flooding wadi, like a mighty stream with lightning and thunder. 14. Which, in its rising, rolls along the stones, but suddenly, once and for all, comes to an end. 15. The offshoot of violence will not flourish, for the root of the godless is on sheer rock. 16. They are like reeds on riverbanks, withered before all other plants. 17. But goodness, like eternity, will never be cut off, and righteousness endures forever. Sirach 40 verses 18 to 27. The treasures of life. 18. Wealth or wages can make life sweet, but better than either, finding a treasure. 19. A child or a city will preserve one's name, but better than either, finding wisdom. Cattle and orchards make a person flourish, but better than either, a devoted wife. 20. Wine and strong drink delight the soul, but better than either, love of friends. 21. Flute and harp offer sweet melody, but better than either, a pure tongue. 22. Grace and beauty delight the eye, but better than either, the produce of the field. 23. A friend and a neighbor are timely guides, but better than either, a sensible wife. 24. Relatives and helpers for times of stress, but better than either, charity that rescues. 25. Gold and silver make one's way secure, but better than either, sound judgment. 26. Wealth and vigor make the heart exult, but better than either, fear of God. In the fear of the Lord there is no want, whoever has it needs seek no other support. 27. The fear of God is a paradise of blessings, its canopy is over all that is glorious. Sirach 40, verses 28 to 30. The shame of begging. 28. My son, do not live the life of a beggar, better to die than to beg. 29. When one has to look to a stranger's table, life is not worth living. The delicacies offered bring revulsion of spirit, and to the intelligent, inward torture. 30. In the mouth of the shameless begging is sweet, but within him it burns like fire. Thank you for viewing. May God bless you today and always.